question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Lightweight, baby. We're starting to bleed this morning. I got questions. Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Come on in, smash the like button. Like the video. Share the video. Share the video. It takes you 2 seconds. We are our own algorithm. Let's not leave it up to Miguel to do anything for us. Do it ourselves. Let's do this roll call. Sheriff Deputy Mac, my brother. Salute. Copper, what's going on, good brother? Yes, sir. Eric Jordan in the building. Macadose, Mac of the South. Coach Hudson in the building. Salute, good brother. Mark Wunderlich, Utah in the house. Todd Swindle, Maine biker. Dow Big G. Black Gun Owners Magazine. Salute. Joe. What up, Joe? 704. What's going on? Steve O. Freedom's March in the building. Ratchet since 91. Derek Gaines, the legend. Lance McCombs. I Am Waffles. Jose in the building. Let's get to it. Smash the like button. Smash the like button and share the video if you're on the Painful Excellence podcast. I dual stream. Y'all know why. So let's talk about it this morning. We'll be talking about Bud Canelo all week. So this was something I thought about. You know, it'll be an interesting conversation. Arthur Levant, salute. Will weight matter? And I just threw up some random names. You know, Manny Pacquiao, Roy Jones, Delano, salute. Bud, what's going on? Roy Jones, you know, even Canelo. You know, he came up in weight. And, you know, Taiwan, salute. Nobody like really considers it. They're like, hey, you know, well, he's here now. Okay, well, that's cool. That's great. You know, I'm wondering. I remember when Roy Jones said, you know what, I think I'm gonna go up to heavyweight. Everyone said, oh my God. What's he talking about? Lost from the Jungle, salute. Because at that time, I believe Lennox Lewis was still active. You know, I know there was rumblings, because this was before the social media era. Andre Jones, salute. You know, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, Roy Jones' name was mentioned in the same sentence with Evander Holyfield. Rampage fan, salute. And I'm listening to it. I'm like, you know, Evander's like 6'2". Roy is barely 6 feet tall. He's like 5'10". But that was Superman. And they said, you know, Roy's skill set, he could survive up there against certain heavyweights. You know, putting Roy in the ring against Lennox Lewis is just you just don't do that. Lennox is what, 6'5", 230. No, you don't do that. But Holyfield was more, for whatever reason, people scratch their head. It's like, you know, maybe. He even mentioned Mike Tyson's name back then. This was in the early 2000s. You know, so it was like, yeah, well, you know, possibly. And what ended up happening was Johnny Ruiz's name came up, and Johnny Ruiz had a belt. Johnny, and salute to him, he's a friend to the Strong House. He's 6'2". And he's a big guy. And then you thought about it, it's like, you know, He got in there with Evander Holyfield like what, 3 times, and there was something about Evander's. There was something about Johnny's style that Evander couldn't deal with. There was just something about it. You know, if you've never watched those fights, you know what I noticed? Those fights aren't talked about. But I watched them, and those things happened, and I'm like, oh, what is it with Johnny Ruiz's style that was giving Evander Holyfield all of these problems? And, you know, I was a lot younger back then, and, you know, I was rooting for Evander, and I just couldn't understand. I said, man, why is this guy such a problem for Evander? It was just one of those things. It was just one of those things. It's like, God damn, what is going on here? What is going on? Let me throw a triangle theory at you. John Ruiz is the same guy that got in the ring with David Tua and got smoked in like 13 seconds. And it was an ugly, scary, Joe Townsend salute, PGA salute, pugilism salute. It was a scary knockout. I watched that live. And I said, Jesus Christ, that's the end of John Ruiz. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Because he had those Holyfield fights after that. Why am I bringing that up? Well, when Evander signed to fight Mike Tyson, one of his sparring partners was David Tua. Think about that for a second. Now, let's get back to size. Egalitarian, Shelton, what up? Bud, what up? PGH, salute if I missed you. HMC, salute. Size. Roy goes up to heavyweight. And I could have swore he mentioned something about, you know, Johnny was able to make the weight. Y'all could correct me on this. I may have asked Ruiz this. I think they had an agreement. It may have been a rehydration clause. May have been. I don't know. I forgot. But I know I heard Royce mention that. And Roy got in there. And if you remember, John had a very, it wasn't too pleasing. Let's just say that. It was a rough jab straight clinch, rub the beard on your forehead. He was a very rough, he had a lot of balls, pause. He had a lot of heart, let's say that. And, you know, he was an eyesore. I'll just say that. He was an eyesore sometimes. And I'm like, man, how's Roy gonna deal with that? Well, y'all saw the fight. Jay Nady was the ref. You remember Jay Nady? He didn't allow John to clinch. He didn't allow him to make it a rough and tough, you know, sloppy fight because John was the bigger guy. And I remember the advertising leading up to that fight. One punch. Roy Jones Jr. moving up to make history. And then they show a clip of Johnny beating on Evander, knocking him down. The rough and tough John Ruiz. Ramel, what up? John Ruiz, the quiet man. Roy Jones Jr., Superman. Will he be successful? Because all it takes is one punch. And they show Johnny, you know, pounding his fist. And I'm like, well, you know, Johnny could punch. He's right. In fact, at the end of the first round of that fight, John threw a right hand and it hit Roy on the side of his neck and he wobbled him. TD Sports, my brother Thomas, salute. I was like, uh-oh. But that was the best punch and the only punch that John landed the whole fight. Every time there was a clinch, Jay Nady separated them and Roy took a walk around Jay Nady. I want y'all to look at that. That's strategic, y'all. They separated them and he walked around Jay Nady. Go look at that. Y'all know that's strategic, right? Just go look at it. Y'all probably never noticed that. Every time there was a clinch, Jay separated them and Roy walked around Jay. He was working John, for real. I mean, just little things like that. He did it every time. Y'all probably didn't even notice it. Go look at every clinch in that fight. That was funny. I was like, God damn. And he won it. And Roy was dominant. He was dominant. Size mattered only if you fought the wrong fight. Let's talk about Manny Pacquiao. All I hear is 8 division. It's not really 8, but we're not talking about that. That man was fighting like at 105 pounds or something crazy like that. He came up 8 divisions. And not one time did anyone say that he couldn't do something. I think the heaviest he's been in the ring was it might have been Margarito. Aaron, what up? It might have been Margarito. Wasn't he like 152 on that fight night? I forget. He was 150 something. And he broke that dude's face. He got a sleepy eye because of that. Thank you, Timmy T. It's really 6, but nobody wants to listen to my dumb ass. You know, they even got a stat wrong about Canelo Alvarez. But again, maybe I'll talk about that some other time. But yeah, he anytime he moved up, when Manny Pacquiao caught heat, when he caught fire, and the Philippines was online front and center, every time he did something, they Manny by knockout. And to his credit, when he moved up in weight, it didn't matter, because when he landed something, what happened? He was hurting people, man. Yeah, I don't want to talk about the alleged ped use. Let's leave that out of that. Let's leave it out of that. Let's just deal with what we're dealing with here. Let's just deal with that. Yeah, he did it, and nobody looked down on him. Nobody said, man, this guy might be too big. I remember people were a little torn leading up to the Ricky Hatton fight. I don't know about this one. Ricky Hatton's rough. He likes to fight, and, you know, he's a bigger guy. And I said, blah, 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 yakety schmackety. Ricky's going to try and make it a dogfight. And one thing I will say is that Manny's a better boxer than Ricky. And I will say that Jeff Spark, my brother, salute. MJ Total Health, what up? I will say that Manny could slip, and with his awkward style, he could slip and throw an uppercut. Ricky gonna get hit. It's how he reacts to getting hit. You know, that's you know, we're gonna have to pay attention to that. And what happened? Well, you saw the fight. It was only 2 damn rounds. Let me park there for a minute. Do y'all remember the 24/7 leading up to that? At that time, the UK fans, y'all lost so many points. Y'all lost so many points. I'm watching. First of all, it didn't make sense to me. He ran out. He came to America and hired the services of Floyd Mayweather Sr. Blue Blood Sports TV in the building. Everybody in here should be subscribed to Blue Blood. So I ain't got to tell y'all. Y'all already know. That's the fam right there. Salute, Blue Blood. So, dude comes to America and hires the services of Floyd Mayweather Sr., which was like, it was odd to me. I said, man, he ain't gonna be with Floyd Sr. long enough to change up what he knows, because he needs to know how to box to deal with Manny Pacquiao. He don't have the tools unless there's a gear that that Ricky has that I haven't seen. I don't understand this. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Bird, what are you talking about? You don't have to pay to join the channel. If that's I'm dropping the link because I want to have a conversation. I'm dropping links all week because I want to hear what the crowd has to say about this fight. I'm just laying the groundwork. And I just want to hear y'all opinions. So there'll be a link in the chat. Stormy, salute, Stormy. There'll be a link in the chat so you could, we can have a conversation. It'll be there. But joining the channel, joining the Strong House, that's entirely up to the audience. That's up to y'all. No doubt. So Dill Spoolie, salute. So I'm watching the 24/7, and this is where I was convinced I don't understand UK humor. But then I talked to some brothers from the UK, and they said, no, that's not our humor. That's just him. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? There was a few times where, they're in the gym and then they turn the camera and Ricky got his ass out. And I said, what was that? What the hell? He did it like 2 or 3 times. And I said, man, come on, bro. And do you see why I never really paid the UK fans any mind when they was like, oh, Deontay Wilder's twerking. Oh. And I said, yeah, Fury's kissing men on the mouth. His brother is on some reality show, doing something crazy. He was cross-dressing. And Ricky Hatton, there was a video going around with him doing lines. I had it like 8 phones ago, and I just never saved it. And then there was another picture. He had a gag ball in his mouth on some dominatrix. And I said, whoa, what's happening here? But before all of that, he's in the camp getting ready for Manny Pacquiao, showing you his cheeks. So he's been weird. And don't look now, he's coming back. Main biker in that super chat, he says, notice they never wanted Pac versus Canelo. Black versus the world. Exactly. Yeah, they didn't. I remember when they asked Manny Pacquiao, y'all remember when Sergio Martinez was hot in these streets? Sergio called out Floyd, and I said, I think Sergio's too big for Floyd. Floyd's 147, maybe 150 on a good night back then. Sergio was 160 back then, right? But he was a big 160, and I said, I don't think Floyd will take that. That's, he's too big. He's too big. And then they asked Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao is the power puncher. And he said, I think that fight got weight. In other words, translation, Sergio was too big. So I didn't really make a big deal out of it. But back to Ricky Hatton, he's been weird. Weirdo Hatton. He's been weird. And he got in the ring, but I thought he was the bigger guy. And he got in the ring, and Manny Pacquiao washed him in 2 rounds, and he slept him badly. I mean, that was awful. When you sleep with your eyes open, like a kung fu movie, like in the Shaw Brothers movie, they all die with their eyes open. Name a movie where someone died in the Shaw Brothers movie when their eyes were closed. Name the character. All them niggas died with their eyes open. It was signature. We used to do it in the park. You start doing the kung fu in the playground, and when you die in the park, you're dead with your eyes open. That was signature. I was like, people die with their eyes open, man. That's horrible. Yeah, y'all know about that pugilism, but Cotto So you got to understand that there's a certain level in which people peak. For example, Floyd naturally might be a little heavier. The human body changes. Miguel Cotto, and you correct me when I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, Miguel Cotto, did he start his career at 140? I forget. But 147 was a pit stop. Y'all remember Miguel Cotto with the hair? Pray for Creasy, salute. Jim Diamond, salute. You know, I forget what weight he started at. It might have been 140, maybe 147, I forget. But he was still growing into his body. He was an adult, but physically he was still maturing. And he just went up in weight. Yeah, he started at 140. Thank you. Village Brother, salute. He just went up in weight. Now, let me say this. Here's where weight matters. When you're drained. Now, when Miguel Cotto fought Manny Pacquiao, he was the WBO champion. But he still went into that damn fight as the B-side because that's the business. And I hated that for him. Do you know why? When he went into that fight against Manny Pacquiao, did y'all know there was a catch weight at 145? Did you know that? Did you know the catch weight not only was getting on the scales the day before at 145, but he had to come in on fight night at 145. Did you know that? How the fuck are you the WBO champion, the welterweight champion, fighting at a disadvantage like that on fight night? He had to come in at 145. That is why he lost. And he was in that fight until he wasn't. He ran out of gas. You go back and look at that fight, you might, the average person say, oh man, he looks shredded. Miguel was ready. No, he was not. He was unhealthy. He was unhealthy. Sometime later, when Manny and Floyd were still trying to get together and make that fight, he explored his options. And he went at Miguel Cotto again. Miguel Cotto was now holding a belt, I don't remember which one, at 154. And he said, Cotto, you want to run it back? He said, yeah, we can run it back, but this time I'm not playing no games with no weight. I'm the champion. By then, he done lost to Marquez, I think. I could have my timeline kind of jumbled up. But Miguel said, I'll fight you again, but I'm not draining myself this time. And we didn't get that fight. Because Miguel would have kicked his ass. A healthy Miguel Cotto. That's where weight will matter when you're drained. Y'all want another example? Y'all want a more recent one? Okay, let's talk about Mellow Yellow. Let's talk about it. Oh no, not Jake Paul. That's outrageous. Let's talk about what happened with Mellow Yellow and Lamont Roach. I picked Mellow Yellow to stop Roach in 5 or 6 rounds. I said, I ain't asked for this. I've seen Lamont before, you know, look, Tank is going to eventually get him. He might lose some rounds, but Tank going to eventually get him. By the time we got to round 4, I'm like, why is he standing in front of Tank like that? Wait a minute, Tank is like really trying. And then it dawned on me. Wait a minute. I saw the stare down when the bell rang. When the ref was giving instructions. The first thing I noticed was, I said, Lamont kind of big over Tank. I said, wait a minute, whoa. This guy came up from 130? Wait a minute, whoa. Wait a minute. Oh shit. Lamont's the bigger guy. He didn't have to weight drain. He just ate regular. He didn't have to worry about making 130. He just ate regular, worked out, worked on technique. And he's in front of Tank all night long. And Tank wasn't doing him nothing. He didn't have to watch that scale this time. Make 135 and rehydrate, because you know Tank likes putting rehydration clause on niggas, right? And he competed so well that the mellow yellow drinkers were saying, oh no, he didn't smash the gas on him because that's his friend. No, he didn't smash the gas on him because he couldn't. That's what that was. And I didn't realize that until round 5. That's what happened. That's when weight matters. This is my ideology with Bud and Canelo. Now I'm just talking about weight. Technique is a whole nother conversation. What do y'all think Bud's walk around weight is? Put it in the chat. I don't know exactly. So there is no wrong answer. Y'all just tell me what y'all think it is. What's Bud's walk around weight? His walk around weight. Yeah, pugilism. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't see it, but I heard about it. Eric Jordan says 160. My brother Stephen L says 176 to 180. Timmy T says 175, 165, 180, 180, 175. Says 165 to 170. G Lex says 180. These are good answers. Now, I want y'all to factor this in. On top of him walking around at those heavier weights, he's also a gym rat, because Bud doesn't, and I say this respectfully, Bud doesn't get quote unquote out of shape like how we've seen pictures of Errol. And I say this respectfully, Errol's my guy. It's man down over here. But we've seen him chiseled in crazy shape, and then we've seen him, you know, just walking around and he gets a little chubby in the face. We've seen it. We've never seen Bud like that. And that's another thing. Canelo ain't putting no rehydration clause on him like he would put if Canelo actually signed, if he grew a pair and he actually signed to fight Benavidez, he would put a rehydration clause on him, and I'd still be on here beefing. Like, man, you put a rehydration clause on David Benavidez, but you ain't put one on Edgar Berlanga. He came in at 200 pounds on you on fight night. What's this? So if Bud walks around at, let's say, I think a fair weight is 180. Chaz, what up? I think that's a fair weight. Let's say it's 180. Let's just say that. Let's say that. And there's no clause. That means he could make 168 and he ain't got to worry about drinking no Pedialyte. The next day, he get off the scales, go eat something, and Bomac once said 180. Wow. Do y'all understand that a lot of these fighters that fight at these weights, they stay at those weights until they can't make it anymore? Miguel Cotto said it best. He said, weight is science. We say it all the time. Oh man, this guy, he's stuck around at this weight class too long. Y'all seen all the pictures when Devin was at 135 and he make weight and he flex? Look at his face. It's all sunk in. It's like, oh man, I don't like him at that weight, man. No. I'm high-key glad that Shakur didn't take the fight at 135 versus Devin. Boxing equals success. Salute. Because I didn't like Devin at 135, man. He looked sick. But he was professional enough to make the weight every time. And he was challenging himself. And once he got a taste of what was going on at 140, he said, nah, I ain't doing that 135 shit no more. I changed my mind. And that's cool. This thing with weight is science. And what happens is, what happened with Tank was, and you know, I'm not clowning Tank. I'm just explaining to y'all what happened with the Lamont Roach thing. He really thought that he could dominate Lamont Roach. I know he said what he said, and he was trying to convince the world that no, this was a real fight. No, he in his mind, he was like, you know, it's gonna be okay till it's not. I'm gonna get him out of there, but I'm giving him a payday or whatever it happened, whatever y'all want to go with. But I watched that fight. Tank was trying. Tank was trying. He couldn't do anything because Lamont was the bigger guy. Now, here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Bud is naturally the bigger guy than Canelo. What I am saying is, I believe he's equal. We're going to find out. I believe he's equal. I believe Canelo doesn't believe he's equal. Canelo believes that he has a better skill set. He has what it takes to contradict what Bud brings to the ring. He's well scouted. All Canelo has to do is execute. But I'm not sure that Canelo understands what he's going up against. He's seen it. He's heard the rumors. But now I believe he's going to get his ass in there and be like, oh, shit. This ain't what I thought it was. Like when Edgar Berlanga got in there and mixed it up with Hamza Shiraz. I was at the media press conference. And Edgar was talking big. He was talking big. Brooklyn. And I'm like, all right. I'm sitting there like, all right, bro, you got to perform. Remember when I told y'all? I stood next to Shiraz when he was talking. I'm looking up like, hold on. He's 2 inches taller than me. And I'm sizing him up like, yo, hold on. He's like 200 pounds right now. But I said, I know Edgar could rehydrate. But I said, right now, this is walk around weight. And I looked at Edgar and I'm standing next to Shiraz and I said, hold on. This is a problem. Are they paying attention? Because Edgar is not really a good boxer. And everyone kept talking about how he looked against Carlos Adames, whom people said, I thought he won. I thought Adames won too. But this is at a heavier weight, 8 pounds heavier. And he said, I feel better at this weight. And I said, oh, shit. So he's going to make 168. Did you see his physique? I'm telling you, Hamza Shiraz was about 200 pounds when he fought Berlanga. Berlanga was like about a $190, maybe knocking on 200. And there was a part in that fight where Hamza said, yeah, you know, Hamza didn't walk into, they thought that Hamza was going to stand on the outside and pepper him with jabs and try to make it a boxing match. Nope. He got right on the pocket and started bullying him. He said there was a portion of that fight where they got into an exchange and Edgar backed up and Edgar said, oh shit, I believe it. Edgar never said he was lying. He can't say anything. I think we're going to get not exactly that, but I think we're going to find out early in the fight that, well, there goes that size mattering situation. Throw it out, man. Throw it out. I don't believe that's going to happen. Stormy says, how about this? Mellow Yellow is actually a featherweight. The competition at junior lightweight has always been heavy. Notice he hasn't fought anyone of significance there and pulled others up. Yeah, exactly. He fought smaller guys. Listen, this is where it comes back and bites you in the ass. When putting rehydration clauses on people and you're pulling people up from lower weight classes and you're looking good doing it, you fool the public that doesn't know any better. That's all we was telling these guys, but y'all don't want to listen to us. But you see the result now. Now you fought a guy on paper that came from 130. You fought him to a draw. You're not rematching him. And you about to fight a clown fight. It don't look good for him. This is why all this catch weight stuff, it catches up to your ass. Yes. So I'm going to answer the question. I'm about to drop this link. In my opinion, will weight matter? No. But I could be wrong. So the link's there. I'm going to pin it. Y'all let me know. What's your opinion? And there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer. We'll find out on fight night. Somebody going to be wrong. You know? This is just my opinion. This is just my opinion. Yo, what's good?
What's going on with it, man? How you doing, Drew? What's going on?
Good morning. Good morning.
Top of the AM, man. I ain't on nothing. Nigga just sitting here listening to you getting this good workout in, man.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I got Bud stopping this dude in like 7 or 8 rounds, man.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I've been saying that from the beginning. I feel like Bud been scouting this dude, man. The same way I felt like he was scouting Arrow for all them years. I felt like Bud know his strengths, his weaknesses. I feel like Bud been at this weight training, you know what I'm saying, at this weight for him for about a good year. I think Bud is ready. I honestly believe that. And like I said, dynamite in both hands, man, well skilled. And you know how Bud is. You put your hands on him, he want to put his hands right back on you. I watched William Skull, I guess, put hands on Canelo in the easiest way, you know what I'm saying, with movement. Just, you know, putting hands on him, you know, even though they gave Canelo the fight, he didn't deserve it, but we already know why they gave it to him. But Canelo, there's a blueprint to beat Canelo, and it's already out there. And it's Floyd Mayweather, Bivol. Is it Bivol? Yeah, Bivol or Dimitri Bivol. Is it Bivol or Bivol? One of them.
Bivol, whatever.
Yeah. And the 2 dudes that they robbed Canelo with and gave draws with. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let me give you some pushback. I just want to hear what you have to say. Let me give you some pushback. In the fights that Canelo had trouble with, can Bud provide the same issues to Canelo, if not more, in your opinion?
I believe yes, because Bud is more skilled than those guys. You know what I'm saying? Except, you know, the Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's more skilled than Bivol. He's more skilled than Lara. And the other guy, I can't remember his name, but, you know, Bud, like I said, there's a blueprint to beat Canelo, and all you have to do is follow it. And it's going to beat him every time. You know, we thought the same thing when he was going up to 175, and he got destroyed, you know? We were all sitting here saying, oh, he's going to go up there, he's going to get an easy title, he's trying to fight this dude or Bandu Jack. Nah, you know what I'm saying? So, Canelo is very beatable. Let's not act like he's not beatable. And you know, as being a black man, size don't mean nothing, because once you out there, once we in the mix, we in the mix. It don't matter. All that size goes out the window when we in the mix. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying, that's how Bud is taking it. That's my 3 cents, Drew.
All right. We got my brother Lamont Musa in the building and my brother Steve L. the Mac.
What up,
What's good, brother? What's good? What you got, brother? Will size matter in this fight?
Definitely size. Everything gonna matter, but definitely size will matter because we ain't never seen Bud fight at this weight. We don't know how he gonna carry this weight. And from the videos I've been seeing, from what I heard from people, I went back and did my own due diligence. Yeah, he looked tired doing certain stuff, and he was looking kind of gassed. So carrying this new weight for multiple rounds and having somebody come at you, because we know Canelo is a pressure fighter, fighting off the back foot and getting punched on at the same time and returning fire, I think it's going to be a problem. And I think it's going to show up early, around the 2nd or the 3rd round. And I'm gonna stop right there.
Okay, so you say you saw? 'Cause, to be honest, I haven't seen any. So I can't comment on that. You seen videos of him training, and he looked a little winded,
And
a
he
little
looked real
gassed.
sluggish too.
Really? Was it
Hold on.
sparring or just basic workout?
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead,
bro.
How, like, bro, he was training. Like, you don't know how long he been training for to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know, was it the beginning of training was retired? Was it?
Facts.
I mean, I agree on that, but I'm just giving my
Yeah.
due diligence on what I seen, you know.
Okay.
But that's the reason why I said it should show up early for what I'm seeing. I'm saying the second or the third round. I'm seeing Bud possibly having his mouth open. And if that's the case, that weight gonna show up with what I'm saying. If he paces himself, maybe I think 4th, 5th round. But the way Canelo is a pressure fighter, that's the reason why I'm telling everybody. After a minute and 30 seconds, I'm looking for a fight to break out. If Bud can't keep up with the pressure and the weight, it's gonna be a problem. We've never seen Bud fight at this high caliber of a weight. And honestly, I think he may come in way under that limit and don't blow up like Canelo does. But once again, if we talking weight, Canelo is known to blow up big. There you go.
Can I jump in here just for 1 second, Drew? Just 1 second.
Go ahead.
This is my thing when he mentions the weight. Like I said, Canelo's been stalking this. I mean, Bud's been stalking this dude since after the Madrimov fight and before. So if you don't think that Bud is in the gym training at a higher weight, maybe fighting at 180, 190, sparring days in the gym because Bud is the gym rat, you have to be a fool to believe that this professional is not going in there and his team is not going in there thinking like, hey, he might gas out. Let's have him training at these higher weights so he can get acclimated to the weight. Like sometimes we just gotta use, you know what I'm saying, what God gave us, you know what I'm saying? And it's free what he gave us. The thought of mine and belief that
I hear you, but you throwing some insults.
I'm not throwing no insults, brother.
I
Brother,
did
I'm not throwing no
my
insults.
due diligence, like I said, and the only good sparring I seen him in was a dummy. Everything
about the
else,
one?
Bud don't look the same.
What about the sparrings you didn't see? What about the late night runs you didn't see? What about all that you didn't see?
Put me on it then. But I'm not there to see what everybody else sees or what they see. I'm only going what I did my due diligence on.
And that's very respectable, but this man is a professional. And when you're a professional, you come in as a professional. He's not going to take the day off.
Who said he wasn't professional?
Brother, I didn't even, let me finish. The man is
Okay,
professional.
but you're doing a lot of cutting.
I'll wait.
But you cutting air though. You're doing a lot of cutting, but you cutting air. I never said he wasn't a professional.
You said cutting air?
We giving our due diligence on what we think about weight. What we think he gonna come in as. I'm saying for what I seen, I didn't say nothing about being professional. I'm giving my 2 cents, my perspective on what I see and what I think. Now, once you give yours, you can't go off mine. You got to give what you see.
Let me jump in here. Let me jump in here because we're talking about this all week, and I just want to stick to the topic this morning. The question is, will the weight matter? I want to try and focus on that. That's why I put the pictures up here. Henry Armstrong, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo, Bud, Jones. I want to focus on, in your personal opinion, will the weight matter? That's all we're asking.
No.
Will the weight matter?
So the weight.
We got 2 new guests on here. I'm gonna go to T.O. and then we're gonna go to Mr. Bird right there. Let me go to T.O. first. Salute to you, good brother.
Oh yeah, salute to you, Drew. How you doing, man? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, good brother. Loud and
clear.
Yes.
Okay, and so the first thing I want to say is this: if you really watch Bud fights and everything, like every time he moves up, every time that man moves up, he gets stronger and stronger. And let me say this: at 147, when he moved up, he was knocking people out, bruh. And then when he moved up to 154 when he fought Madrimov, he didn't, I ain't gonna say like days Madrimov or nothing like that, but listen to me, right? He was absorbing punches. He was absorbing it. And this is all I'm gonna say with this fight with Canelo. If Canelo punches Bud and Bud is able to take the punch, Canelo is in for a long night.
Good. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and that plays into weight, because right now the world is saying, man, 147 to 168, that's a major jump. And I'm on the side of the spectrum, like, I don't think it's as big a jump as people making it
He
out.
ain't gonna be eating Canelo right hands like he was eating Majabos.
We'll see.
I mean, but you see, I don't think, as far as tactics is concerned, who wants to be there for that right hand? I don't think anybody wants to be there to catch any
He
right
looked
hand.
horrible in that fight against Majabos. Horrible.
No,
Yeah.
That dude whooped Bud ass, man.
no, man.
Let's come back to that.
We watched the fight slow
let me
on
go.
BMTV, punch by punch. That Bud lost, bro.
No, okay. All right. No, wait, hold on. Let's stay on this topic right here. Let's stay on this right here. Enoch Bird, what up, good brother?
Hey, you know how to pronounce. You got my name pronounced right. Well, so
Yes,
a lot of people
sir.
don't.
Yes, sir. Salute, brother. Salute.
Salute. My family is from Brooklyn, by the way. Like, from my aunt's in Queens. So I got family in the city. Yeah.
Shout out to them.
Yeah. So about the topic, man, this is really exciting. This is my first time. Wow. Okay. I followed you for quite a while. Like, okay. Let me just get back to it. I discovered the LVBC like this summer. Big fan. Okay. So I'll use my personal experience as a reference for, does weight matter? Because I love boxing as well. I'm still in the amateurs right now, but when I've sparred guys bigger than me, and when I've sparred guys smaller than me, what I've noticed is it really it depends on the stylistic approaches of the boxers and on the clean punches landed. So when I sparred guys bigger than me, right, I've noticed like the biggest difference of when I felt the weight difference is when I got hit clean on the, usually on the top of my head, because, they'd be bigger and taller punching down. Although Canelo's not taller, so but he does like throwing hooks, like, hooks to the head. So but also it depends on shots to the chin, like, especially because if you get hit clean to the chin, then, or if you hit your opponent clean to the chin, that's when the weight difference makes the weight makes the biggest difference.
Right.
And then also, if you're the smaller fighter, and okay, two things about being the smaller fighter. With the smaller fighter, if the smaller fighter takes the approach of taking advantage of all the space in the ring against a bigger fighter versus that same exact approach against someone like their size, they tend to lose steam in their legs a little quicker over time.
Right. Yes.
However, also, but what I do is I don't take advantage of all the ring space against someone bigger than me. I try to constantly circle around them in a slightly smaller space, so I'm still within range to reach their body.
Right.
And you keep circling around them, and the smaller fighter, your foot speed, is, you can cover more ground in a tight space. They can cover more ground over a big space. So if you stay in a tight space, circling them around them with the quick, small steps, like it's just like kind of like geometry, I guess. But as a bigger person, they can move. They circle themselves. It takes a little longer if they're heavier for them to keep vision of you, right? So that's how I would TKO, a lot of guys in like during sparring, like over the course of like a couple rounds or a few rounds.
You simply making the bigger guy work. You making them work.
Exactly. And it's hard for, and also a big difference with when you notice the weight difference is if you're standing right in front of them. Like, do not try to stand and trade, even if you think just don't try to lean on them. Just constantly. That's another thing. Yeah, no body contact, just hand contact only. and keep your chin down. And okay, that's what I've noticed. I just use that as a point of
That
reference.
makes
Okay.
sense. That makes sense. You're talking about from a tactical standpoint how weight could actually backfire to the bigger guy.
Yes.
I totally understand that. In this instance, the general concern is, will the heavier weight, and to what my brother Monster Moose is saying, will the heavier weight betray Bud Crawford?
Oh, okay.
Will
Yeah.
it betray you? And that is a concern.
Mhm.
That is a concern, and it's something we have to watch out for. Definitely something we have to watch out for. Let me go to my brother, Coach Eddie, in the building. Salute, Coach.
Hey, salute, brother Drew. Salute to the panel.
Yes, sir.
Man, this is a great question. I like how you framed that last part right there. Will the weight betray Bud? I want to say it's not going to betray Bud for the simple fact that most of the time when guys are coming up from smaller weights, they bring their speed with them and their combination punches, a la Evander Holyfield.
Manny
He was
Pacquiao.
giving those guys, Manny Pacquiao. They use that ambush. I think for Bud, all he has to do is ambush this guy.
Now explain. Now, I like what you said. Now explain that when you say ambush. Explain how would he ambush them? Explain that. Now,
Okay, but with that,
explain it. Yeah.
yes, sir. Like I said, with the ambush style is something that Manny Pacquiao, made legendary. Ambushing this guy. Basically, when you kind of lull a guy to sleep, especially a bigger guy, and you able, it's kind of like guerrilla warfare. You get in and you get out. You hit him with bang, 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 quick combination, and you slide out on him. Either exit to the left or the right, and get out of harm's way. Because at the end of the day, the name of the game is to hit and not be hit. That's the key to boxing right there.
Right.
And if Bud's able to implement that, it's to ambush Canelo with quick combinations and then slide out on him before Canelo can return fire. That's the key to victory right there. And I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give you a little bit of my personal experience also. I was a professional fighter. I had a lot of amateur fights also, and I got to the. I'm about 5'11", 6 foot on a good day. But when I was in my prime, I was about 180 pounds, and I preferred to fight guys that was 6'4" or taller.
Right.
That was my preference. The guys that were my height or a little bit shorter, they were hard to fight for me. A lot of people look.
Right explain.
Yes, sir.
People are confused about. I know what you mean, but people are confused about that. Why was fighting smaller guy a pain in the ass for you?
Because it was a smaller target.
There you go.
The tall guys were. I love fighting guys 6'4", 6'5", because I punched hard enough and I was fast enough. It was like hitting a tall building. All I had to do was pick out which window I wanted to knock out.
There you go.
You know what I mean? A tall building. So I love fighting tall guys and bigger guys. I used to fight guys that outweighed me about 60 pounds. I used to get fits. But then I fought this one guy that was 160 and I couldn't find that dude. He was giving me fits. So that's how it works, man. The name of the game is hit and don't be hit. And I want to talk about power also. You got concussive power, you got heavy shots, and you got shots that hurt. Like Devin Haney, his punches hurt because they sting you, they cut you, they hurt. Then you got guys that are heavy, they don't necessarily hurt, but they're heavy. And they're like, they can definitely throw you for a loop, but they're not painful. It's much more painful to get hit by a sharp puncher than it is a heavy puncher. Like George Foreman was a heavy puncher. This is a guy that is concussive type power. Somebody like with Roy Jones or Ali, those punches hurt because they were cutting you up, they were busting you up, they were cutting you, and they were swelling you up. So you felt pain from those punches right there. Deontay Wilder, same type of guy. He just turned your lights out with one shot. So it might not necessarily hurt, but you waking up like, hey man, what happened? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then so it's all kind of different punchers. I think Canelo is a heavy puncher. He's a heavy-handed guy. His punches are not necessarily sharp, but they're heavy and they're concussive. I think Bud is a sharp puncher. Right. And like Floyd Mayweather's a sharp puncher. He hurts you when he hits you. That's why those guys didn't run in on it. But I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm going to pass the mic to someone else, brother. Thank you.
No doubt, man. I appreciate that. Let's go to my brother, Freedom's March. Salute, brother.
Salute. Good morning, everybody. Salute to the panel. Bro. Y'all hear me? So, is the weight going to betray Bud? It won't. If he fight like it would, if that makes sense. So, what I mean when I say that is he has to move up in weight. He's going to be heavier. He's probably going to have more power behind his shots. He's probably going to have more punch resistance. But he can't fight like that against Canelo. He's going to have to be lighter on his feet. He's going to have to pick his shots. He's going to have to set up punches. He's going to have to set traps. Because Canelo is going to stalk him, right? He's going to stalk him. But if Crawford is moving around picking his shots, Canelo is going to freeze, right? He's going to freeze. He's going to start waiting for Crawford to do something, right? Like Skull, like when he fought Skull. How many times did Canelo freeze in that fight? Multiple times.
Yeah.
But Skull did not capitalize on that, right? So Bud's going to have to, when he forces Canelo to freeze in place, he's going to have to go in, get off some combinations, and move back out, just like Coach Eddie said. So if Bud fights like he's going to have an advantage with the extra weight, he's going to get caught up. He's going to get in trouble. He cannot fight like he has extra weight, right? What he has to do is he's going to have to punch on the move. And when he does set his feet, it's going to be a surprise. And that's going to be a problem for Canelo, especially to the body. He's going to have to go to the body. He's going to have to change levels. He's going to have to give him different looks, use those angles, and not get greedy and not try to get in the pocket with him until later on in the fight, right? Later on in the fight, if Canelo shows any weakness, any fatigue, he can start amping it up in that regard. But he's going to have conditioning as well. So the weight does not have to betray Bud if he fights smart, right? So that's what I'm looking at when I see this matchup. Canelo's going to have to, and for Canelo's part, he's going to have to cut off the ring. He's going to have to be more patient, right? Because we know he can get frustrated. We know he's going to try to punch Bud's arms and hips and all that stuff, but Bud can't be there when that happens. So Bud, the weight doesn't have to betray him if he's training and if he's preparing to be lighter on his feet with that extra weight, which is possible, right? I know guys talking about the extra thickness in his legs, which would help with his explosiveness and quickness, getting in and out, moving around the ring, and hopefully, right, it doesn't drain too much energy because muscle requires oxygen. The more muscle you have, the more oxygen the muscle needs, right? So he's also going to have to train for endurance with that extra muscle. So if he's doing all that, I think he's going to pull it out. That's my take.
That's an excellent analysis. Enoch, I'm going to go to Enoch. I'm going to go back to Enoch. Then I'm going to go back to I'm going to go to my brother Xavier. Go ahead, Enoch.
Okay, yeah. So, like to his point. Okay, and so moving up in weight could catch up to Bud and fighters in general if they take the approach of taking advantage of all the space in the ring. However, kind of like, if he takes the William Scola approach, which he's not that kind of fighter, but, moving up in weight and taking that approach would catch up to you. Your legs, it'll definitely catch up to your legs, like, as the rounds go by. But Bud's not that kind of fighter. So he'll do what I was talking about before, and I think he's going to pull it off because of that. It'll be hard for Canelo to hit him cleanly. Okay.
Fair enough. Xavier, what up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, brother, man?
What's going on, man? Chilling, baby. Will weight matter?
Another day in paradise. You know what? I think any sense. Canelo's gonna put his weight on him, lean on him. Canelo's not that type of fighter, right? He's not gonna put his weight on him and be like that. I think this is gonna be a very intriguing boxing match, to be honest with you. The only thing that I'm concerned is after the 5th, 6th round, when the punches start, landing on Bud's arms and hips and stuff like that, how he's going to respond to that. That's my concern from Crawford, because it's not like Crawford has the best defense in the world. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's that's going to be the biggest factor to me is how he's going to respond after 5th, 6th rounds of getting punched on the arms, on the shoulders, on the hips. I mean, this dude broke somebody's freaking bicep, bro. You know what I mean? So it's
It was one of those Liam Calum dudes, right? The British dude. He broke his bicep, right?
the light heavyweight kid. What's his name? Caleb Smith.
Calum Smith.
Yeah, it's like
also Bivol said Canelo was punching on his arms and that hurt him up. He did say that.
I saw Bivol say something on one punch. Canelo punched harder than Beterbiev. In combinations, he doesn't.
I heard that same thing. Yep, I remember
so
what you're talking about.
You have to really look at it like at one punch, and it's not like Canelo throws combinations like how he used to, right? It seems like he wears you down by hitting you to the body, to the arms, to the shoulders. That's going to play a factor come 5th, 6th round. I think Bud's going to do really well in the first 3-4 rounds. But after that, it's going to be difficult for me to see all 12 rounds after getting hit like that over and over and over and over. But we'll see. I mean, did Canelo get old overnight? That could be also another factor, right?
Right.
So I don't think weight's going to plays that much of an issue here. It's going to be the punching power over and over, round after round after round and round, and we'll see how Bud can handle it after the 5th, 6th round, because it's not like Canelo is not going to punch him.
Well, let me say this. That also plays into what Coach Eddie was saying about ambushing Canelo. Maybe if he gets out there and tries to jump on him, not like jump on him, try and muscle him, but jump on him and give him like herky jerky.
To get his respect.
Yeah, just get his respect early. And also, Canelo got that gas tank. It goes to E real fast. It goes to half tank by the time it's like round 6.
I don't see that anymore. I don't see that anymore because, I mean, he beat Berlanga up for 12 rounds. He beat Charlo up for 12 rounds. Didn't really tire.
What was his output though?
No, I understand, but I don't see that being a factor. I don't see that being a factor right now. And also, we don't know how Bud's going to answer after 5 or 6 rounds of getting punched like that in the arms. I mean, I don't know if you guys, a lot of you guys, ever been in sparring and stuff, but when they start beating on your arms, like 5th, 6th round, it's hard to lift your arms. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I mean, maybe they both got old overnight, and we're all wrong. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, this is why these discussions to me is fun because I in my mind I see how it's going, but I could be wrong.
Look,
you know what I mean?
we could be. I could tell you every which way how I think Canelo could win. I could tell you how every which way I think Crawford could win, and we can both be wrong. Canelo can go in there and knock him out in 1 round, or Crawford can go in there and knock him out in 1 round. And it's crazy to me that people think that Crawford has no chance. Everyone has a chance. This is boxing. You know what I mean? I could tell you that Canelo's going to beat him in 7 rounds and watch Crawford wipe him in 2-3 rounds, right? That's the exciting stuff about boxing, that we could all be wrong, and we're going to find out Saturday night.
Let me read these 2 comments from my brothers in the chat. My brother Kenny _ man, my brother Go Shop Usual Suspect 6. This is my fam right here. He says Canelo doesn't press the gas at a point in the fight, hence why he doesn't attempt to cut the ring off or finish anyone. The knockouts that he does get, it eventually comes from cats making a mistake. Now, if he catches you in exchange and he hurts you, then he'll smash the gas on you. Right? He couldn't catch William Skull. At no point was either one of them in trouble. But I thought if we're going off the point system, Skull beat him. But you know what the fuck do I know? I'm only a guy. And the Sensei Stormy says Razor Ruddock punched harder than Mike Tyson and was dropped several times, ending with a broken jaw in 2 bouts. Mike never went down and won both matches convincingly. That is, and people don't factor that in. Razor Ruddock was a hell of a puncher. In
Oh,
fact,
Razor Ruddock was crazy.
I would say he was a harder puncher than Mike. And I bet you if you put them on a bench press, Razor Ruddock was naturally just a bigger guy. He was probably Razor in his prime was probably bouncing 375 pounds off his chest. Mike probably couldn't do that. But Mike, contrary to popular belief, he wasn't a one-hitter quitter guy himself. He was a sharp puncher and he was fast and he'd get low to the ground. Remember what we said yesterday about the punching power coming from your back foot up your thigh, your glute, and it's like you're actually jumping in a sense. And that's why Mike was so strong. It was a lot of science behind that. Salute to my brother Freedom's marching that super chat. Much love and appreciation. I want to go back to my brother Mansa Musa.
What's up with him?
Yes, sir. I want to ask you. Okay, so you're feeling. You're saying that basically weight is gonna. Well, I want to make sure I have you correct. You're saying that the extra weight is going to betray Bud based off of the clips that you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's looking a little like I say, you know what I'm saying, for what I've seen, you know. It's my opinion. Right. You know, everybody got their opinion, they facts, like Xavier.
That's a concern though, brother.
We can say
you wrong. That's a concern. That is a concern.
Way, you know, I'm just giving my observance. You know, I don't like Bud or Canelo. I'm just looking at the fight factor. If that makes sense to anybody. You know, everybody want to do the race shit and this, that, and third, but Jack Johnson had a white wife, but people want to talk pro-black. If you ain't talking like Fred Hampton and them, I don't want to hear that pro-black shit, man. Especially when it comes to fighting at this time, you want Bud to be our leader. People just so fake, man. But anyway, I think, in my humble opinion, the weight definitely is going to catch up to Bud. We've never seen him at this juncture, and like Xavier said, you get to hitting this dude on the arms, the body, the wrist, the hips like Bernard used to do. I want to see how he's going to react. If he can fight through all this adversity, he's one of the greatest. But I just think it's going to be too much for Bud to just get through this with the weight, with Canelo, with the judges. It's just too much. And like I said, Canelo has fought bigger dudes, way bigger than him, longer than him, punched way harder than Bud. And what was this weight and lifting 400 pounds with Madrimov? Why he didn't knock this dude out? Why he didn't stop him?
I'm glad you brought that up, brother. I'm glad you brought that up.
What was all this going on with Madrimov?
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. That's why I have Canelo in this meet. Now, Canelo went up in weight and was very successful. What would give you reasonable cause to believe that Bud couldn't be successful? Because you know, everyone brings up the Madrimov fight.
Now watch this, bro.
Go ahead.
We honest on Canelo with Laura. We honest on Canelo with Trout. We honest on everybody that went up and tapped Canelo ass, or we say beat him. But we can't say the same about Bud with Madrimov. That's that bullshit. There you go.
But Drew, didn't Canelo move up gradually? He didn't just jump like three weight divisions. He didn't move up that weight divisions.
Canelo was a weight bully at 155. I remember him weighing in at 155 and rehydrating up to 178, 182. I seen it.
No, what I'm saying is that Canelo never jumped 3 weight classes from one to the next. He gradually moved up. I think that's the biggest issue with Crawford is that he's just jumping up. He didn't fight at 654, then 60,
what's up, bro?
and up to 68. He's just jumping straight to 68. Said, fuck it, you know.
And then he said he would never fight Canelo. As soon as all his money came, I'll fight him now. Canelo even said it. This dude too small. But when Canelo seen that Madrimov fight, it's just like what Canelo say when Ward knocked out Kovalev. Canelo ain't stupid, bro. But hey, okay.
Hey, Drew, can I jump in here after he done?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I honestly, in my honest, humble opinion, and this is honest, and y'all can take Insane Talk for his word with this one, man. I don't care where we take it at. I I got Bud doing Canelo the same way he did Earl.
Oh,
The exact
shit.
same way. No difference. Beating the brakes off his ass. I'm talking about beating the Texas, New York brakes off his ass. Honestly, I'm talking about beating the bean burritos up out of him.
Easy.
He's gonna beat him just like that. Mark my words. Bud Crawford is gonna beat Canelo just the same way he did Errol. Now we all know we can go back and see the tapes on all the LDBC channels. I do not rock with Bud Crawford like that, but he a brother, and I'm believing in him in this fight. I got him, stopping him the
Insane.
same way he stopped Earl.
Insane.
Talk
You
to me.
That's
leaving,
insane, brother.
insane. You leaving out, he gonna break his freaking ribs, bro. Y'all
Say it
think
one more time.
he gonna break his ribs, bro. Watch, I'm telling you, watch.
Now
I ain't
I
telling you.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. We're gonna have our on Friday. We're gonna have same conversation, and I want everyone to give their assessment. But for today,
Yeah.
I want to stick to the question.
Let me answer the question, Drew.
Go ahead.
My whole thing is like this me without seeing them at the weigh-in right now. But I seen their little face off they had at under the water and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And bro, it's like to me like they evenly matched to me, bro. It's like no one's bigger than the other, bro. But I guess I asked him because brother at 6'3", I'm telling you, the match is another level. Y'all think watch he's gonna be matching. The weight is not going to go be bad. They're gonna go be bad on Canelo's fight because you know what I'm saying? He gets strong, you know, he probably gonna turn Super Saiyan in this fight, you know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just bro. And all of this is every my dude and everything, you know what I'm saying? But all of this Bud gonna get hit in the arms for 3 or 4 rounds. So that's part of it, man. Bud's one of these. I'm gonna stay away from BF. BF made me watch that. Like,
But you know that's what Bud do to what Canelo do to Stephen L. You know Canelo don't care about hitting the arms, the shoulders, the legs, as long as he get a punch off.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question because I don't want to get away from because you know we're gonna have these conversations all week long. I just want to focus on will the weight matter. At this point,
yes.
How long did it take for Canelo to get from 54 to 68? How many years?
2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years. Okay. Within that time, who were his opponents?
I think Miguel Cotto. He fought James Kirkland. He fought Amir Khan. You remember Canelo created his own weight division. A lot of people forget.
Thank you. There you go. That's where I was going. That's exactly where I was going.
155 weight division. Then he also fought Julio Cesar Chavez at a catch weight at 164. But you got to remember, when Canelo was fighting at 155, this dude would routinely rehydrate to 178, putting on 23 pounds. So Canelo was no stranger to fighting at light heavyweight come fight night. He's been doing it for a very long time.
How many fights did Canelo have at 155?
He had a few. He had a handful.
He had one.
What was that?
Amir Khan. That was it.
You said 175.
Okay, who the other guy? I thought he fought James Kirkland at 155.
No, he fought James Kirkland at 154.
Well, then the next fight was Julio Cesar Chavez after that at 164.
No, Miguel Cotto at 160.
No, they fought at 55, bro.
Miguel Cotto was 160, sir.
You sure?
Miguel Cotto was the middleweight champion. Miguel Cotto had beat Sergio Martinez.
Yeah, he beat Sergio Martinez and he fought Cotto. I think that's how it went.
Yeah.
I think that's how it went.
He had one fight at 155, and that was against Amir Khan.
How many catch weights did between Cotto into this current day? How many catch weights did Canelo have?
2. One against Amir Khan and one against Chavez Jr.
I want to correct the brother just there. I just looked it up. Canelo Cotto, they fought at a catch weight of 155 pounds.
Okay,
that was 2 fights. He had at 155.
Again, Miguel Cotto was the 60-pound champion, right?
Again, they fought at a catch weight at 155.
Catch weight, and so they that's the second time Miguel Cotto got catch weighted because of the bigger name. It was Pacquiao and Canelo. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too.
Right. So when I ask, will weight matter? a lot of Canelo's success depended on weight. Could this shit backfire on him? Because Tank Davis allowed a 130-pound guy come in, and he didn't have to worry about weight. So now Bud is coming in, and he don't have to worry about weight. And again, let me throw this at you guys. Bud can't come in over 168, but he could walk in there and get on the scale, and they could say, "Oh, Bud Crawford, 161. He still made weight. He's comfortable." You ever considered that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. That's why I'm asking the question, will the weight even matter?
No,
Hey,
weight's
Drew.
not going to matter.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on one second. Hey, brother, give me 1 second, please. I'm not to cut you off, but we seen that when Demetrius Andrade fought when Demetrius Andrade fought David Benavidez, he came in too big. He was too big, and his weight betrayed him because he tried to actually get in there and bang with David Benavidez with the extra weight, and you see him gas out. So Bud had to be careful not to rehydrate too heavy. I think Boo Boo was like close to like 190, 188, 189.
Yeah,
he was way too big. You know what I'm saying? And it cost him.
Yeah, I mean, Demetrius is a big kid too. He's a big kid also. So I just think that David Benavidez is the better guy.
Right here, we seen William Skull dance around the ring for 12 rounds against Canelo, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When has Bud ever danced around the ring like that with anybody?
Well,
he don't box like that, brother.
Shout out to Rob Holman in that super chat, because he's saying, y'all saying Bud move around the ring when?
That's what I'm saying.
He don't box like that, brother.
He gonna stand right there and try to. That's Canelo's wheelhouse and specialty. He won't just stand right there and bang with it.
Let me say this. Let me say this to even that out. Everyone keeps bringing up Majimov. Canelo don't fight like that.
Exactly. I already said that.
But they got similar movements. The little up and down glove thing, they fight similar.
Man, Canelo got hands to the head, high guard, bro. Come on, man.
Canelo do the glove popping and ducking little move that Majimov does too.
Hold on, killer, because Canelo will parry.
I think Majimov.
Hold on, killer. Canelo will do his hands like that.
Hey, but I will say,
Canelo
I
has
think
been
Majimov
known,
only had 8 or 9 fights.
Hold on, but Canelo has been known to pop people's punches up with his guard, not just keep it glued to his face. He will parry and knock your hands up.
Yeah,
he will do that.
Yeah.
So he'll parry like Majimov.
Bud fought the weakest dude at 154, man.
And he only had 8 or 9 fights.
Come on, man.
Watch
you
this.
can do that with him.
Hold on. Watch this.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that one.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Roy Jones Jr. went to heavyweight and fought the weakest champion at heavyweight.
Yep.
But we still give him credit for it. I gave credit for it. And this is no disrespect to Johnny Ruiz, but who had belts at that time? Lennox Lewis, John Ruiz, and who else?
And he wanted none of that.
Hey, listen.
And he wanted none of that. Just like Bud didn't want none of them champions at 154.
Majimov only had 9 fights, brother. 9 professional fights.
And
Majimov.
When you
and smoke Bud boots.
When we
I don't know he did.
When we talk about the Majimov
he did that.
When we talk about the Majimov,
I do remember a guy named Leon Speaks did the same thing to Muhammad Ali.
Oh, so talk about it! Oh, wait, hold on.
How old was Muhammad Ali?
Stop. Coach Eddie's on that. This is how you know. This is OG's talking right now. Coach Eddie, please say that again.
Mr. Leon Spinks out of Marine Corps came in and defeated the legendary Muhammad Ali.
Yep. Yeah, what age?
What y'all got to say about that?
But I'm saying, he's saying that to say what? Because I agree.
I'm just saying, brother. So a lot of times,
how old was Muhammad Ali?
That was at heavyweight.
That's the reason why Floyd had that comment about Ali. I ain't never
that's at heavyweight.
7-0 beat me like that, you know.
And that's the thing. The thing about age, you never know how guy age. You got somebody look like Bernard who stayed around till he was 100, and still was
Right?
competitive.
He was a
And then you
hustler.
got a guy like Sugar Ray Leonard who fizzled out at age 33. He was finished.
Yeah, but
So
Muhammad Ali was
Well,
born
Leonard
young.
was addicted to
He didn't
substances. He
fight
was addicted to
Ali in
drugs and
prime,
alcohol.
brother.
Now wait, hold on now. Now what's the probability that Canelo sees some things in that ring that he wasn't used to when he ages that night? Because in dog years, Canelo's an old guy.
He is.
Yeah, but he's never
He is
been
old.
beaten up all
with
over.
the
Yeah, you're right.
experience and the
Look at
resilience.
the man's knees.
What?
The man's knees are a problem.
This is what I'm saying, and we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. I want to
Listen,
tomorrow's
Bud
conversation.
got old in the Magic fight, man.
He did look old.
No, I don't think
guy
He
with
wasn't
9
doing
fights.
nothing but sticking out his tongue and getting hit in the face.
Majimov fight, because prior to that, I'd never seen Majimov do that shit in my life. You know what it was like? You know what it was
That was
like?
Magic Ball Super Bowl.
Listen, you know what it
Once
was
again,
like?
it was a whole different game plan for Bud. Yeah, he
I'm
got
gonna tell you what it was
it.
like. Majimov, listen. I'm gonna tell you what it was like. When you saw Gaddy Ward the first fight, you were like, "Oh my God, this is some movie shit." They immediately signed for a rematch, and you thought you was gonna get the same thing. And what happened? Gaddy started boxing. He looked like a different guy. It looked different. And people say, "Oh no, it wasn't as exciting." I said, "No, he boxed Mickey Ward's face in. He couldn't touch him." Majimov never fought like that until he got in there with Bud. Bud wasn't even prepared for that.
But Bud got this IQ though. What was his IQ? Why couldn't he figure him out?
I'm not talking
Why
about
couldn't he stop him?
IQ. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about why the fight looked the way it did.
Right.
Because of that weight? Because of weight?
No. Now
Because of weight?
No, wait, hold on. Everyone says you're only as good as your last fight. All I'm saying is Canelo don't have the wheels to do what Majimov did.
It's not really about what Majimov did, but what Bud did.
This is what I'm saying. If Bud fought, let's say Bud was fighting Skull, he'd have a problem.
Yes.
He'd have a major problem because Skull is light on his feet, he's a bigger guy, and he's going to be in and out on Bud at that size. That's a problem. Canelo's a stationary target to what Coach Eddie said.
I agree.
He likes fighting bigger guys because it was a bigger target. Canelo doesn't move like that.
So my question is, when Crawford did land combinations on Majimov, did Majimov respect it? That's a question we got to answer.
Yeah, he did. Because if he didn't respect Bud's power, he'd have stood there and say, "Man, I could take that."
Well, he didn't stand there the whole fight.
I'll give you a good example. When when Leo Santa Snooze fought Tank Davis, Tank figured out, yo, I could take this guy's punch. What happened? He stood in the pocket and countered him with an uppercut.
Three of the same punches that got uppercutted.
But Majimov moved the entire fight before Bud started really landing
the entire fight. The entire fight. So he respected that power. He did.
But there were moments in the fight where he walked Bud down, had Bud on the back foot, right? And was able to evade shots. But he was just constantly moving. So we don't really know what it would look like if Bud did land something significant.
You know, a lot of people, they're not factoring in what happens if Canelo feels something from Bud and he gets hurt and he has to move. Can he move?
No, he can't.
Okay.
But that's going to be the determining factor. Can Bud land anything significant?
More than the ball.
So, I mean,
that's the question.
I mean, we bring up the Majimov situation. Everyone has an opinion on that. I'm over that. I'm just saying that Canelo doesn't do what Majimov does.
No, he doesn't.
Like Roy Jones didn't do what Evander Holyfield did, which is why he beat John Ruiz easy.
Yep.
Evander Holyfield couldn't dominate John Ruiz. Just like fight 100 times, and those fights would be close as hell. But Ali, for some reason, could not dominate Ken Norton, but Ken Norton gets in the ring with George Foreman, and it's not even close.
About killed him.
Well, see, this is why I picked Bud now, right? Because of everything you just mentioned, and also what is Canelo's conditioning going to be, Does Bud even have to hurt Canelo? Right? That's my question. Does Bud even have
Drew?
to hurt Canelo significantly? Because if you're not looking at the judges and the, Canelo being up already on the scorecards, like people say, if you look at it at face value, does Bud have to hurt Canelo? No, he doesn't. He can box the shit out of him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Bud can pull this out if he fights smart.
I don't
we know
see
at
Bud
times he
staying
doesn't.
away for 12 rounds of boxing. I just don't see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Can he do that for 12 rounds?
That dog in him, that grit in him,
yeah,
and that mean streak in him finna get him beat.
That's what I've been saying since day one.
Because he ain't gonna be disciplined enough to fight
that's
for 12 rounds of boxing.
That's a possibility.
If you remember the first Sugar Ray Leonard Hearns fight, Ray Leonard circled the ring the first 2 to 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Just circled. He didn't really engage too much. Just let some of that steam die off. Now you say that we never seen Bud, move around the ring like that. Just because you hadn't seen don't mean he can't do it. Just maybe never had to do it. And that's what I'm saying. You cannot tell me any elite boxer. The first person you try to emulate is Muhammad Ali. You try to get up on your toes. You try to move around that ring and slide around just like him, but he was a legend. Why wouldn't you try to imitate him? Most boxers can do that. We seen Errol Spence get up on his toes from time to time. Guess what?
Yeah.
We seen George Foreman get up on his toes in box when he fought for Ron Lyle.
Will count that round for Bud or Canelo?
I don't think right now is the time to try doing things you've never done before in the ring.
That's what I'm saying. Now, do you think the judge is going to count that for Bud or Canelo?
You got to stick to what you know and what works best for you. Because
and look at Boots. We think Boots can do that. We think that Boots can move around the ring and do all these things. But has he had to do it yet?
But Boots isn't half the fighter Crawford is. So
we look at Boots kind of similar to Terrence Crawford.
That one out of the context, brother.
But what I'm saying is we look at Boots.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Let me go to Enoch. He has something to say. Go ahead, bro.
Hi. So I'm new to this. Is this sort of the conversation where like people just like take turns, or do we just like pitch in whenever someone expresses a thought?
It just turned it at the end because we're coming to the end of the show. It just it just turned into a bit of like popcorn talk.
Right. Okay. So to the earlier points, real quick. One about aging. I think Bud's older than Canelo, but as far as wear and tear, Canelo has more than Bud. So, and also, Bud lives cleanly, or he has a clean lifestyle that reduces the wear and tear. Like people, like Sugar Ray Leonard wasn't beat up a lot, right? But he had great defense, great reflexes, but he aged quickly because he was addicted to substances. He was different drugs and alcohol. So, there's different factors that come into play. Also, Canelo was turned pro earlier, and so he had to spar pros earlier, the accumulation of that, like 15 years old. Okay. And then, as regards to, what guy was you saying about Mr. Muhammad Ali, having generations of people trying to emulate him, but it depends on and it depends on how much space you cover, because like the more space it's a give and take. The more space you cover, the easier it is, or the longer it takes for your opponent to catch up, the easier it is for you to set up traps because you have split second more of time to develop everything. But on the other hand, it takes gas out of your legs faster over rounds and rounds. So, but again, Bud, he can beat Canelo in more ways than Canelo can beat Bud. And again, Canelo can't really cut off the ring. And also, if Canelo won't be able to plant his feet and hit Bud clean, if I don't want Bud to try to take it to him within the first half of the fight. I don't, that's, and also with what other guy was saying about can he hurt Canelo? You don't need to try to load up against the bigger guy because the bigger guy can take a better hit. Like loading up, it correlates with the size of your opponent relative to you. So you can hurt, like I was talking about before with the sparring, you can hurt guys bigger than you through accumulation to the body if you stay at an angle and, like everything I was explaining before. And so trying to load up against Canelo would be a mistake, especially with long arms because it takes a little bit longer. I have long arms, but yeah, you guys were talking about many different things, so I had like different thoughts relating to what you guys were talking about. Okay.
I appreciate that. Now that's what's up, man. This is an interesting conversation. There's so many variables. There's so many, and look, I'm not gonna say any of the brothers are right or wrong because we won't know until Saturday. Like I said, I got Bud winning, but I could be dead wrong, man. I could be dead wrong. And I'm cool with that. That's why I'm like dragging this out all week because I want to hear what everybody got to say. But my final thoughts, I have a question. How would a fight between Floyd Patterson and Sugar Ray Robinson,
ooh,
how would that have worked out? I'm going to go around the panel. Mansa Musa, my brother. Are you familiar with Floyd Patterson? I know everyone knows Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I'm familiar with Gene Tunney. I love the whole history of the sport. Yeah.
So Mansa Musa, in your opinion, how do you think that would have worked out?
And repeat the question again. Floyd Patterson, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Floyd Patterson versus Sugar Ray Robinson.
Sugar Ray Robinson all day.
Really?
Hands down by stopping. Brutal knockout.
I see what you did there, Drew.
Okay. All right.
See what you did there.
All right, now, okay.
Wait, what weight class is Sugar Ray coming up from?
That's my question.
Wait, you say Sugar Ray Robinson or Leonard?
I said Sugar Ray Robinson.
Okay, he did fight at heavyweight, right?
Light heavyweight, up to light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight.
Toward the end of his career.
My opinion, at any time they meet, Robinson will beat him.
At any time.
Interesting.
Because Robinson is just that damn special and just that damn good.
Robinson started his career at 135, right?
Yep.
Like in the late 30s. Okay.
So that
he was a big 135.
Floyd Patterson would have to come down too. That's what I'm saying.
Floyd Patterson, what was Floyd Patterson's heaviest weight?
I think
He was
212,
like 180 something, 180, 190.
180 or 190?
Nah, he was a heavyweight.
He fought heavyweight. He fought Ali and he fought Sonny Liston also.
When he fought Sonny Liston, what was his weight that night?
Like 192, somewhere in that neighborhood.
I thought it was like
small
versus Sonny Liston.
We can agree that he was basically super bigger than Sugar Ray, though, right?
Yeah, and also Sugar Ray's prime, was when he was a welterweight. Like, he moved up to middleweight and light heavyweight toward the end of his career. But,
hold on. Let me see. It's saying he was 189. And Sonny Liston was 213. That's what it's saying.
Okay.
So we talking about prime Sugar Ray Leonard coming up from welterweight, or a bit past his prime coming up from middleweight?
Now, who do you think was a harder puncher? Floyd Patterson or Sugar Ray?
Floyd
Patterson.
Yeah.
Floyd.
I'm gonna say Ray Robinson, man.
Mansa Musa got Floyd Patterson losing to Sugar Ray Robinson.
That's why I say I knew what you was doing.
Now, the accumulation over 15 rounds versus 12 rounds, I got Patterson.
Yeah, logic will make me lean to love makes you lean towards Sugar Ray, but logic makes you lean towards Floyd Patterson.
But 189.
Once again, it's one of those fantasy fights, and most definitely because I like Sugar Ray more. I would definitely lean more towards
right
him.
Right there. Mansa Musa, right there.
One of my favorite boxers in history.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Is this the same thing with Bud fans? Do they want him to win so bad that they throw logic out the window?
I'm not a Bud or Canelo fan.
No.
Hey, I'm just being on code with it.
Listen to the question.
Fight pattern for me.
No. Listen to the question. Because you're picking Canelo to win, and I hear you. I'm asking you, do you think that Bud fans are leaning towards Bud because of unconditional love and throwing logic out the window, in your opinion?
It's two things. I'm gonna say yes. on the because they're fans, and I'm gonna say the second one has to do with race.
Okay.
Those two.
Okay.
There's no other way around but those two. Because if you're thinking with pure boxing instincts, this guy's coming up. What has he done? The weight, and then when you look at what Canelo's at and what he's done, it's almost like a 10-1 underdog.
But there's the eye test, though. It's the eye test, you know.
You know why I don't really like go with the eye test with some people? Like everyone on this panel, y'all have been in or around the ring, so you know I fucks with y'all. But the eye test to a casual, they don't know what they're looking at.
No, but for me, I know what I'm looking at though.
Right. So
yeah,
you're a fighter, so I get it. But the average person, they don't know. I know Monster Musa knows. I know Steve L. I definitely know Coach Eddie, Freedom's March, and you. I know y'all know. But the average casual, they won't know what they're looking at.
No. Yeah, I think for the average for the casual, it comes down more to race, you know, or more down to, you know, yeah.
Now, in closing, how do we explain Henry Armstrong?
Woo!
How do we explain Henry Armstrong? I put him up here for
a
reason.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Multiple divisions. Yep. Featherweight, lightweight, welterweight. Got robbed at middleweight. Yep.
He held belts at 3 weight classes and defended them all.
Yep. And he should have been 4, but the draw was robbery. Yep.
Okay.
Middleweight. Yep.
So, you know, how do we explain that? You know, he was going up and down and moving up everywhere. Was he an anomaly, or it could be done properly?
No, it could definitely be done.
You got to remember the Jack Dempsey. I mean, he fought freaking the freaking tall guy. I can't even remember the dude's name. Dude like 6'6", the freaking giant. He destroyed it.
Yeah, the Italian guy. Yep.
So I'm at the end of the day, man. It's, you know, even look at David Hay. He fought freaking Volin. Dude was like 7 foot. David destroyed it.
Value That guy was 7 feet tall.
Yeah, so it's like it's the size. If you got a great small man like a Henry Armstrong who's able to evade the bigger punches from the bigger man, that's how you win. That's how you beat a bigger guy. You just don't allow him to hit you.
Yeah, and Armstrong would go to the body a lot. Yeah, and Armstrong would go to he would go to the body a lot, and he would move at an angle. Yeah, he'd have his head under their chin a lot, but he would also be at an angle. He wasn't just trying to push the bigger guy back because it was illogical, but he would do a lot of what I was talking about earlier, and staying in his grill, but at an angle, going to the body, wearing him down. Yeah, and that approach helps you against bigger opponents. And he also was 5'5" with, you know, a 66-inch reach or 60. He had short arms, so he had to do that. But it was to his advantage against the bigger fighters, you know, because he fought the right way.
Look at Alexander Usyk. Look at Alexander Usyk. He beat these big guys. He beat the crap out of them. These big giants. He's beating them because he's using his size and his skills and his speed.
Let me give the family.
Yes.
Don't know. Let me give the family some homework. 2 fights I would like for y'all to watch. I'm talking just everybody in general. If you get a chance today, and don't watch the highlights, watch the fight in its entirety. I want you to watch Nikolai Valuev versus Evander Holyfield. It looks like a goddamn movie. And then watch David Hay. David Hay versus Nikolai Valuev. Watch him start to finish.
Yep, I've seen him. Yep, on YouTube. Yep.
Now, Nikolai
I'll see him again.
He wasn't a big lumbering. He looked crazy, but he was light on his feet for 300 pounds. He was bigger than Tyson Fury. He was big, and he wasn't clunky. He was light on his feet. He was proportioned, right? David Hay outboxed him and almost knocked him out in the 12th round. Caught him real bad too.
Yep.
He outboxed him.
Monty Barrett tried to fight him straight up. That would destroy him.
Yeah, and that fight was in New York, I think, too.
Yeah, man, he tried to fight him straight up, man.
Yeah,
that was horrible.
So, in a sense, what I'm saying is, you know, size can matter depending on who the athletes are. And I'm gonna land the plane right there, man. Yo, salute to y'all, man. Can't wait,
brother.
You know what I mean? Monster Musa makes great points. He makes some great points. It's also something to consider. It's definitely something to consider. But this is why we come here to have these conversations, man. Man, salute to y'all. Coach Eddie, man, you always welcome. You already know that, man. Y'all go subscribe to Freedom Smart. My brother does content. Enoch.
Man, this was an honor. This is awesome. I'll definitely try to engage more with you guys going forward. I love talking to actual people that actually know the sport, actually know and love the sport. Love it.
Here, that's all we here doing. We all know that there's a racial element behind that. If we could just get away from that and deal with what we're talking about here, this is all I want to do. I want to talk about the sport. I want to talk about the outcomes, the possibilities, because I'm a supporter of the sport, and I'm not a supporter of dumb shit. You understand?
Word.
So,
Word up.
Rooting for Bud, can he do it? I think so, but I have to factor in, what could possibly happen. That's why I always appreciate my brother Monsalusa coming up and reminding us of his position so we can consider it, because it's a possibility. The fight hasn't happened yet.
Indeed.
Yep.
So,
I'm taking bets with a lot of non-black people around my area, and I'm gonna cash in on all of them because they're just thinking with their hearts, or they're just thinking skin deep. But I'm take advantage of the casuals. Don't go on the gambling sites. Take advantage of the casuals around you that are just seeing everything through race and rooting against the black American guy, the FBA guy. Take their money.
And let's educate the casuals too.
Word.
I'm gonna get out of here.
Educate them at the same time.
I think the general's on. Let's head over there, man.
All right, brother. Salute. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Salute everybody.
Be back
Thank
out
you,
here, man. Salute to everyone in the Venmo, the Zelle, the Cash App, the Stupid Chat. Much love and appreciation to every last one of you guys, man. It's always about the sport. Let's go, Bud. But we have to factor in the possibilities, man. We got to do it. So we talking about this fight all week long, all the way up until fight night, man. So we're going to have some fun with this, man. It's about sport, not dumb shit, man. Out, man. Bronx on deck.
Move! Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.